Buenos días. Vamos a empezar, por favor.
Good morning. Let's start, please.
Buenos días.
Good morning,
Buenas tardes.
good afternoon, and good evening.
Nuestra última sesión de
It's our last session in this process,
Estamos muy agradecidas
and we are really grateful
con la
to our life giver
de cada una
with the
las que
universe energies and for the life
conectándonos en
that we each have and how we were able to connect in this space. Welcome, everyone.
estar con nosotras. Gracias por haber aceptado
Thank you for being with us and thank you for accepting the invitation and being very grateful to the universe energies and to each one who participated in this process, to each one of the people who participated and contributed. We have arrived at the end of this process, being a little bit better leaders. So we're going to start with our program today. And as always, following our grandparents, our grandfathers and grandmothers' teachings, we are going to ask our sister Maria from Africa, from the Africa region, to lead us through the invocation this morning. And thank you so much for sharing part of your spirituality with us over the weeks or months, rather, that we worked together. Welcome, Maria, and thank you for leading us. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, sisters. I will do the invocation using my native language. Okay, let's pray. Ashengai Papa, Tanapari, Ashete Ngolongino, Ashete Ngoji Nitunga yo, Ongoji Nitabaita yo. Titenebo yo, Gata Ompari Pokin, Tara Matangopang Sidai, Olosholang Pokin, Tara Matafimi, participants Pokin, O Columbia University. Ashe Papa. Okay, I will translate. I have thanked God for protecting us and for giving us strength the far He has brought us since we started our class. Also thanked Him for our beautiful Mother Earth and to continue giving us strength to protect it. Also, I've asked Him to continue blessing FIMI, all participants, and Columbia University. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, María, y a todas.
Thank you so much, Maria. And to everyone from the bottom of our hearts, we connect with Mother Earth's energy, with Father Air's and our grandmother Moon, our grandfather Sun, and our grandfather Fire. And without further delay, we also welcome warmly and we thank, of course, with our deep gratefulness, Professor Elsa, who has accompanied us throughout this whole process. She's a friend, an ally, and terrific teacher for many, many of us. Thank you so much for being here with us and for injecting in us your energy with your smile, your strength, and all of your trajectory. Welcome, Professor Elsa. The floor is yours. We're going to listen to you with our hearts. Thank you and welcome.
Gracias, querida Hortensia, and thank you, dear Maria.
Thank you, my dear Hortensia.
That has warmed our hearts and brought us together again. Dear sisters, distinguished Executive Director of FIMI, Teresa Zapeta, distinguished Director of FIMI's Global School for Indigenous Women's Leadership, Sister Cecilia Ramirez, dear Joy Patho, team member of the 2023 Global School of FIMI, dear sisters, participants of the 2023 Global School of FIMI. We have finally come to the end of our 2023 program. an amazing collection of seminars, discussions, exchange of stories, experiences, and insights, and especially the sharing of visions, of plans, and hopes. Each one of you, all of us, made valuable contributions so that our group became a family full of care, of affection, and of solidarity. When we set out to collaborate from the Institute for the Study of Human Rights at Columbia University with FIMI for this seminar series, right? What was my own aim? I just want to reveal. One, it was to bring to you not just the history and the stories of the Indigenous peoples movement, but also to convey its dynamism, its current life in the present. Indigenous peoples are here and their issues are visible to all of us. The second thought in my mind was that I wanted this seminar series to be about global Indigenous issues. In other words, about Indigenous peoples and their movements from around the world, to examine why and how Indigenous peoples have impacted the international level, how Indigenous peoples have become international players in human rights, in development, environment, climate change, gender, conflict and peace, and other areas. And thirdly, I wanted us to be inspired by the empowering messages of Indigenous peoples, by their struggle for social justice, by their philosophies and visions of a better world. So the methodology of our course tried to build bridges and to combine distance learning and your participation as much as we could, although we are on Zoom, of course. Despite the remote nature of our seminar series this year, we did our best to create the community spirit and synergies that we need and that make this program unique. The response, whether we managed to convey all the things we wanted, is of course up to you. And we hope that you will share your thoughts in the evaluation of the course that we will do later. I learned a lot from you during this period. I was so glad to be there at each and every seminar. Through your weekly participation and comments, you gave us feedback and enriched us with your thoughts and with your questions. I am very thankful for that. You inspired me, and I will miss you, but I am sure I will see you again. So, I would like to use this moment to recognize all my colleagues from Columbia University and other colleagues and friends outside Columbia for enthusiastically supporting this seminar series and teaching some of the classes. They have done this for years with great commitment and respect for FIMI. Today, we mark the closure of the 2023 cycle of seminars. But as we all know, this is not the end, but a new beginning, because each one of us, enriched by this experience, will continue our work, bringing into our human experience the wisdom we gathered on the way during these months since February. We know that we have expanded our family of friends, our support and solidarity for each other. And this is precious. As we reach out, electronically, of course, to hold hands across countries and across continents, let us not forget that advocacy at international level is an extension of our citizenship from the local and national to the international level. Since states act also internationally and take decisions that will affect our lives, we as active citizens also become international actors. And what states decide is influenced by us as well, by people's advocacy. And so I would like to conclude these few comments with these four words: resistance, persistence, resilience, and vision for life. These are four words that strengthen and embrace women's struggles and Indigenous people's struggles. So thank you very much for being there, for giving confidence to us and giving your time to us, your precious time. And before I leave this microphone, I want to share a big congratulations word to our sister Cecilia Ramirez on behalf of all of us. And for me, absolutely, for becoming a mother a few months ago. So I just wanted to say that, and I'm so glad Cecilia is with us and that her baby is allowing her to be with us today. So thank you very much, dear sisters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, also for those beautiful words. I'm sorry, I'm on the road. I so I hope that you can hear me well.
Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Professor Elsa, for those kind words, and I hope I will be carrying the four last words you said with me as we go along. So thank you so much, and thank you for walking with us this journey for all these months, and for also just guiding us through the different sessions that we've been in. And so, sisters, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. And welcome to our last session together in the school, but it's not the last time we will be together in the work that we're doing as we advocate for the rights of our peoples and our communities. And so, as we go on with the program, I want to invite Shibwan, who will speak a few words on behalf of the participants of this cohort this year. So, Shibwan, welcome.
Hafa day and greetings to everyone. Before I talk about my experience these past 5 months, I'd just like to thank FEMI and all the mentors, advisors, the translators, all the experts who made this school possible. You're all incredible, and I'm really thankful for all the work that it took to make this school possible. This entire experience has been extremely eye-opening for me. I came into this school knowing very little about the UN and the many, many complex mechanisms that exist for advocacy and what that international platform means for our movements as Indigenous people across the world. This kind of information can be really inaccessible to the communities who need it the most. And FEMI has helped build a bridge of knowledge with this program by bringing these tools directly to the Indigenous leaders and the women who will make use of them. It felt like such a rare and a special opportunity to talk to UN rapporteurs, to talk to experts, to have Professor Elsa with us from Columbia University, to have all of these human rights experts and seasoned activists. It felt so rare and special to hear from people directly inside the world of international advocacy. And like what Professor Elsa was saying earlier, that we weren't only learning the history of human rights, but we were learning the present relevant world of it as well. Because it's one thing to read this information online or from a book, or to go on the UN Twitter feeds and read articles about what's happening around the world. It's completely different to get to ask questions and engage real human beings and those who have been part of movements in their communities on this scale. For me, though, more than just learning about the UN and those mechanisms and the history of Indigenous rights across the world, the most special part of this school has been getting just a small glimpse of what my fellow sisters' lives are like across the globe. I have never been in such a diverse room with so many languages and cultures present from every continental and oceanic region. For me, the real gift of FEME is being able to learn about what's happening in parts of the world that I don't always think about in my day-to-day life. Sometimes when you, as an Indigenous person in your own community, by itself, it can feel very small and powerless against the nation states that hold so much control over our rights. But FEME and the community of women here has reminded me that I belong to a much larger, powerful community of women and Indigenous people across the world who are working for the same things, who share the same values, and whose movements across the world strengthen mine here in the Pacific. And so the international community, I think, thrives when we get together and share knowledge like this. And ultimately, FEME and all of the women who are part of this community have really encouraged me and my work, that although the fight for our rights is very long and it can be very difficult, every generation we have an opportunity to bring our peoples closer to the dreams we have for them. And so I really just want to thank all the women here who are doing such important work in your communities on the most smallest level to the largest scale. All of your work and your stories have left a huge impact on me, and I'm incredibly thankful. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shibon, for those words and for the reflection you've given really on what the school means for you. And I'm sure the same resonates for very many other of the sisters who are here. And yes, we're a community. This is a network that you'll have for the rest of your life, really. And it keeps growing from here. So every time you think about the Pacific, I know that Shibon is somewhere in the Pacific, and I have I have a sister across the land or the ocean. I have a global family. So thank you so much for those words. We will now invite Cecilia, who's the coordinator of the school, to say a few words. Cecilia, welcome, and we're very happy to have you with us. Congratulations once again. It's good to have you here. And it was also good to see you once in a while during our sessions while we continued the school. So welcome, Cecilia.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to speak in Spanish. Buenos días, buenas tardes a todas. Bueno, pues.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Concluyendo otra
Really happy to be finishing another another session of the school, one of the most emblematic programs of the International Forum of Indigenous Women. FEME believes in learning by doing. So these 10 editions of the school has helped develop a set of seminars, always in line and in presence. That's what we had from the first session. But as you know, the last 4 editions have only been virtually. And those of you who have participated in these sessions can also participate at the Forum for Indigenous Issues. So you know that this space is not a space where you just participate. Once you're at the forum, you can formulate recommendations, you can organize side events, and you participate in these side events as well. So that is your presence and your participation at this forum, at this mechanism of the UN for Indigenous peoples is effective. After this phase, after participating at the forum, you as participants implement a set of actions along with your organizations, some that we call your advocacy plan. And you have written your plan, you have formulated throughout the seminars, and the objective is to generate changes at different levels, at different spaces, be it at the community level or national level or other broader levels. At each cycle of the school, when we finish, we carry out an evaluation, and we always try to improve the next edition. So over the last 4 editions, including this one, the content of the theoretical sessions, as you know, have been
derechos individuales,
individual and collective rights of Indigenous women, global processes and mechanisms for advocating for Indigenous women. The third module was the principles, technicals, and learned lessons for advocacy, for your advocacy. The fourth one was Indigenous women leadership for global advocacy. And the fifth one, the Permanent Forum for Indigenous Issues and Indigenous women's rights. All of these modules, as you were able to see, are accompanied by Indigenous experts, mainly people with ample experience who have pushed for processes such as the UN Declaration and other mechanisms that we've studied. And what better way to learn but to learn directly from them? So that is one of the components that makes this training space different from others. We always have to be grateful to those who make this edition possible. Of course, to Professor Elsa, who opens the doors to FEMI, and she's been doing this for over 10 years. She has always opened the Columbia University doors to us, and that has been so valuable to be in that space, that learning space. It's been meaningful, especially when we know that superior education for Indigenous women is lower in comparison with other sectors of the population. Of course, it's another important pillar in the development and the results of this program. And I'm speaking about the advisors, Winnie Cody, Joy, Orte, Hortensia, Simon, we call her Orte. Over the last few years, it's been them, because with their experience, with their knowledge, they guide your training of every leader that has gone through this program. And on this occasion, as we conclude this session, we have a special thanks for Joy, who's taken on this incredible responsibility almost entirely to make this session, the development of this edition, possible. And of course, someone whom we always have present, because without them, this program wouldn't be possible. So we thank the donors, the main donor to the school, who believes in the daily work that we do. Over these last 10 years, we were able to bear a lot of fruit, a lot of learning, a lot of experiences, and has always been so encouraging to know that there's someone in a community, remote community of Asia or Africa or some island in the Pacific who faces similar challenges, as Siobhan said. So this is so enriching to see this in this space, although it was virtually on this occasion, to be able to learn what's happening in different places of the world and to know what they're doing to try to overcome those challenges. I also would like to say that the school, the global school, shows that when we invest in training women and Indigenous women in particular, the results are very positive, and we see long-term changes that benefit more women, children, entire communities. So investing in women leaders impacts girls long-term. And we hope that we expect that they continue the work. And we've seen this. They continue coming up with ideas. They continue thinking about how to improve the world. You may have at some time said, like me, oh, I would like to be one day like her. I would like to be able to talk, explain, and lead like her. And that word, her, I'd like you to keep in mind, give it any name, whatever name you prefer, like her. And as I said, what's important is that your actions, the actions by that woman leader, and that name that you thought about, the name of the person that you could see yourself as at some point, is every day contributing to better her environment, her community, to always generate changes. So that's what we hope for. That's our bet.
Recuerdo que en la clase de
I remember that when we invited the current expert, the current repertoire on Indigenous peoples' issues, he would say to us, although we have been able to achieve a series of changes and some objectives that we had set out to achieve maybe 15 years ago, we always continue to walk down that goal. And once we reach those goals, those objectives, purpose, we continue setting new goals, and we need to continue walking towards that new goal. Closing this edition, we can say that we have 248 women leaders who've gone through this school, and I am very grateful to you, to the participants that closed this session, for persisting throughout these months with different schedules. At the beginning, we had planned to attend the UN and to meet in person. But as we explained to you, unfortunately, that was not the case. However, as soon as we finish this edition, we're sitting down already to plan the next one and to try to make it possible to meet in person, not just with you, the participants of this last edition, but we're going to add to these 2 editions to meet. Hopefully, it might not be possible that the 248 women leaders attend, but we're going to try to make it possible that the largest number possible of all of you can be present and celebrate what we have built and what we have achieved throughout this year. That's a fact. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cecilia. And thank you also for the leadership that you show during the school for all 10 cohorts. I always like to say that I was in the first cohort, and it's incredible to see what has happened in the last 10 years. really, and the growth that has happened in the school, and being able to give back to the school that actually just made contributed largely to who I am today. And so for that, I'm very grateful to the Global School, and for this far that we've come, and we hope that this can be a continuous program that other Indigenous women globally can continue to be strengthened and empowered to do more for themselves and for their communities as well. So thank you again. Next, we're going to have we're going to fill out a feedback form that Joy will share the link on chat, both in English and in Spanish. And we're going to give you some time to fill it out, because so that you're doing it here and now, then we'll get the feedback immediately. So it's a Google form. Please click on the link on the chat, fill out the form. We will automatically get it after you filled it out. So please take some time. We'll take about 8 minutes to fill out the form. Please give your feedback on what the last few months have been like for you, so that also your feedback helps the school better the program in the next year. And so please, the link is already on the chat. You can see it both in English and in Spanish. So we'll give you about 10 minutes to, 8 minutes to fill out the form. Thank you. You have about 4 minutes left, so please complete the forms. If you're having trouble, please also let us know. You can let us know through the chat, or you can also WhatsApp your advisor. If you would prefer for the link to be shared to you on WhatsApp, please also let us know so that it's easiest, whatever is easiest or most convenient for you to help you fill out the form. So we have about 3 minutes. Please complete the forms. Thank you so much. Right, welcome back, sisters. I hope you've been able to complete the forms. And please, if you're able to, if you could put on your cameras, because we're going into a very exciting moment right now where you receive your certificates for the completion of this very beautiful journey that we have been on for the last few months. And so our next session will be you receiving your certificates. Unfortunately, it won't be in person. We wish it could have been in person, but this is what we have, and we'll make it work. And so you'll receive the certificates according to regions, and we are going to start with Africa. I know it wasn't a rigged case. It just happens that Africa is the first alphabetically. So here we are. So we'll start with Africa. And so the first, thank you so much. So I'll just read what the certificate says, and it's from both Columbia University and FIMI. So Columbia University Institute of the Study of Human Rights, Indigenous Peoples' Rights Program, and the International Indigenous Women's Forum, FIMI, 10th edition of the Global Leadership School of Indigenous Women 2023, program on human rights and international advocacy skills, hereby grant the certificate to Maria Letitoya in recognition of her participation in Indigenous women leaders at Columbia on this day from February to May 2023. So congratulations, Maria, and this certificate is signed by our dear Professor Elsa and our dear Executive Director, Teresa Zapeta. So congratulations, Maria, on the completion of this program. We appreciate the time that you have put in into the program. Our next recipient is going to be Herma Rotuno. So Herma Rotuno, congratulations on completing this program. I know you've had challenges with network and everything, but you have made an effort to come to class very many times. And so congratulations on completing this journey. And so this is your certificate. I only read the first one so that everyone can know what the certificate says. So congratulations, Herma. And we wish you all the best, even as you continue with this journey of advocacy after all the skills that you have received. So congratulations, Herma.
Thank you.
And the next one is Irene. Irene, congratulations on completing the program. Congratulations on keeping the faith and being here for the duration of the time. And today's time to celebrate this very great achievement, if I might say so myself. So congratulations, Irene, and we wish you the best as you continue in your advocacy, in your community and internationally, whichever path you decide to choose. Congratulations again. And these are the participants from Africa. So I want to congratulate all the participants from Africa for having completed this this program, and also congratulate all the other participants from Asia and Latin America and the Pacific. It's been a long journey, and today we finally get to celebrate what this journey has meant for all of you. So congratulations, everyone. And I am going to pass the mantle over to Joy so that she can give the certificates to the sisters from Asia. So welcome, Joy. Oh, sorry, I think it's Orte, right? Yes, sorry. Hortensia, welcome back.
Gracias, Winnie.
Thank you, Winnie. Well, I want to add my voice to these congratulations for each one of the participants, for each leader from the region of Latin America. The truth is that each group is so different, and this time, I think the challenges were greater. You had to combine a lot of other responsibilities with this process of formation and education, and that meant that you had to make a lot of efforts and you had to have a lot of will to do it. So I want to recognize the work of each one of you. And I want to thank you for each time you had to struggle to make the internet work. Congratulate you for staying up late to finish this. I think it's all been worth the struggle. We're now finishing the course. Each one of you has attended at least 80% of these virtual courses. So it has not been easy. And so I applaud all of you who are finishing the class here today. And I want to thank each of the key actors in this process. You have my respect, thanks, and gratitude, because in the end, the Global Leadership School of Indigenous Women in each one of its editions has had to be updated and adjusted. And personally, I've felt that a lot, and we want to value that. The quality of experts that we have had speaking with us, not every institution is able to do that, and so I feel very grateful for the work of each of the sisters who have worked on this process, and to Cecilia for coordinating us. Also, thanks for Professor Elsa and Teresa Zapeta, the director of FIMI. So for each leader, we have a certificate. I'm going to begin with Joneri Becker Carranza. She's from Nicaragua. Congratulations, Joneri, for your persistence. And Joneri Becker, today we are giving you this certificate recognizing your efforts and your work, and we're sending a virtual embrace all the way to Nicaragua for you. And now also to Brittany Mariani, who is from Peru. We are giving her a certificate for all the efforts and sacrifice and all the midnight connections. All of this has been worth the struggle, and here you are receiving your certificate of completion. We also have Medalit Rivera, who I don't know if she's able to be here today, but we want to mention also the effort that she made by giving her this certificate of completion. And finally, we have Elizabeth Olvera from Mexico, and for her efforts and dedication, and for arriving to this happy ending of this education process. These are those who belong to the Latin American region, and I want to thank you again for your effort. I want to give the floor now to Joy, and she will be giving the certificates for the Asia region.
We can hear you, Joy.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Sisters, it's been really great knowing all of you. You know, I feel like we just started a few months back, and here we are already at the end of the session. It's always, you know, bittersweet moments for me, although we've been doing this for many years, but it's always, you know, you always have that kind of attachment with each and every group that comes you and be part of the school every single year. But it's been a great pleasure knowing all of you, and you know, it takes a lot of dedication, determination, commitment, in spite of our own personal obligations at home, at work, for all of you to be here. For some of you, it's always very early in the mornings or very late at night, but the fact that you show up for yourself and for your communities, I really appreciate that, and I really applaud you for that. I've been able to know the sisters of Asia a little bit more. We've been able to communicate a little bit more through WhatsApp, and I really would like to, you know, stay in touch, not just with your Asia group, but with the entire school as well. And I hope that you take this coming together of sisters from all around the world with you every single day, and that you keep coming back to the school, keep supporting us throughout the years as well. So with that, I would like to present the certificates for the Asia group. First, we have Pema. Pema, congratulations. Pema is from Nepal, and she is a strong advocate for people with disabilities in her community, and for that very unique representation in the school this year. So Pema, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Regina. Regina is a Dayak Jalal woman from Indonesia. Regina, thank you so much for your participation and congratulations. Next, we have Richa. Richa Pradhan is a Newari woman from Nepal. Thank you, Richa, and a big congratulations to you too. Then we have Anima. Anima is a Koborok from Tripura, India. Thank you so much, Anima. Anima is doing, her organization is at a very nascent stage, but she and her organization are doing great work in the community. And finally, Shubon from the Pacific. Shubon, thank you and a big congratulations. Thank you, sisters.
Thank you so much, Joy and Orte. And again, congratulations, everyone. We hope that you carry this training or the information and the experience that you've had here with you to your communities, to the work that you're doing, and tell people about us as well and what you have learned here. Spread the news of what you've learned here so that other people can also be empowered, especially those who are not able to join the school. You now have the information and the ability to also share the information with others. So congratulations once again. It has been a pleasure to be with all of you and to get to know you in one way or another during this time at the global school. And so finally, I want to invite our dear Executive Director, Teresa Zapeta, to give her remarks and officially bring the school to a close. So welcome, Tere.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you to all. Pues muchas gracias a cada una.
Thank you to each one of you. I am so happy. I'm not sure how the participants felt at this time, but to see the diploma, the certificate in the screen with your name, the logo of the Columbia University and the FEMI logo, it made me feel quite a bit of emotion. I sort of felt like, oh, I want a diploma like that. But really, it's been such a joy. And so I don't know if you want to put in the chat how you've been feeling and we can look at that. That'd be great. Sometimes we stay sort of in the formal aspect of the program and we aren't able to talk about our feelings, but we're in a space of trust here. FEMI is a family that is a very wide and open family. And so first of all, I just want to greet every one of you and say we have been fortunate to be able to meet each other and to meet some of each other again. And we are now part of this great network, this great family and movement of Indigenous women all over the world. So that's what I want to greet and congratulate each one of you. First, the leaders of this process. I want to congratulate them for their energy, the energy of their families, their organizations, and their communities, because each one of you have come to this space not as individuals, not just to say, I'm here as Teresa Zapeta. No, we are bringing with us the stories and the collectivity of our group, and that is something we need to remember at all times. So I also congratulate you. I know that it has meant an immense effort. Some of you right now, our colleagues from Asia and Africa are either ending their day or at the very beginning of their day, and the Latin American sisters have had to wake up early for many sessions. And I'm sure you've had to be combining classes at the same time with taking care of the baby, like Ceci right now has her baby in her arms. or maybe you're trying to participate while you're eating breakfast or dinner. All of this is valued. They say that women have the ability to multitask, but we have to be careful of not exploiting ourselves too much, because sometimes it's important to dedicate one moment to each space so that we can do it well. But you have done it well. I want to congratulate you and I want to thank you. And I want to invite you to turn this collective effort that we have made. We're in a reciprocal space here. You have put in your dedication and your commitment and your hard work to read and write and share experiences and contexts. And so as FEMI, what we've been able to do is just provide the platform and the organization of the process. We have put some work out for you. We've put out some ideas and hopes and challenges for you. And the donors have also provided their resources and their trust in us, their trust in you, and our allies, such as Professor Elsa and the whole program at Columbia University. They have also placed a great deal of trust and knowledge and experience and affection in this program. We all feel it and we value it. And I want to invite you to feel that as well. So it's not just institutionality. We have this affection for each other. And I'd like to send a special greeting right now to Professor Elsa. And I hope that we can all send her stickers and hearts and clapping hands, because I know that all of us have valued and felt your support. You have been so close to this effort. And she accompanies us not just as a leader at the Columbia University, but because she is an ally of the movement of Indigenous women from the very beginning, when this program began, when FEMI began. Professor Elsa, thank you so much. We value you so much, and we want to continue this alliance with you. We have some other ideas to continue working together. Tarsila has talked to me about some ideas of celebrating FEMI's 25th anniversary, for example. So that for starters, and now I want to go to the next ideas. Dear participants, leaders, I want to invite you to stay connected to FEMI, because we say that it's very hard to connect the local with the global and the global with the local. There is a gap, there's a broad gap there in between all of this. And we who are now here, we know that our organizations have the opportunity to build that bridge, to be part of that bridge. Imagine if we could just, all of us, hold each other's hands and make a chain of hands, and together we can cross that river, we can cross that gap together, holding each other's hands to connect what's happening at our local levels to what's happening internationally and vice versa. Because I am sure that now that you were able to get access to new knowledge and mechanisms, and we're able to hear from the repertoire of Indigenous peoples, you were able to hear from leaders from Asia and Africa and Latin America, different personalities, and I'm sure that you have asked, well, how do I connect to this? How do I connect with what they're saying, given all of the violence in our communities, the fact that they're taking away our territories and our resources, and we have such a lack of opportunities for education, and even language is a barrier, because many have not been able to participate in this space because they only speak their own languages, and which is their right, but there is still this gulf that we have to cross. And so I want to ask you for that commitment to keep thinking about how do I connect my knowledge and my experience with, for example, the CEDAW committee. Here, we have learned a lot about CEDAW. We haven't gone into all of the depth that we might, but we have learned about some of the general recommendations. We've learned about the Permanent Forum of Indigenous Issues. We've learned about the Commission on the Status of Women. We don't have all of the information yet, but we know that these commissions exist now, at least, right? And we can say, how can I investigate and research how I might be able to tell these spaces what's happening in our places, and not just the negatives. I can take to FEMI a good practice for preserving languages, for example. Maybe I can take to the UN General Assembly all of the experience that we have in education in my local place. So this is the invitation. How can I take advantage when the rapporteur on Indigenous peoples, or the rapporteur on violence, or the rapporteur on human rights defenders, how can I help them to have an how can I participate in the windows of opportunity to be able to give them information, and vice versa? Now, how can I take general recommendation number 39, which is our big umbrella right now? It's a big benchmark. And there you have almost all of our individual and collective rights that are summarized. So maybe you say, I didn't study it in its entirety, but I'm going to read it again, and I'm going to see how I can tell other women about this. I'm going to talk to my organization and my family. Sometimes I don't have resources to go out to all the different villages, but I can talk about it with my daughter, my mother, my niece, my father. And sometimes we are wanting to do so much that we forget the space right around us. We have to start with our family and take our information to our family. And I just want to end today by thanking each one of you, to thank all of the guests who were invited to participate with us, as Hortensia said. For 23 years, the work of FEMI has allowed us to open doors to people, and we can write them and we can say, could you please come and give a talk with the Indigenous Leadership School and they say, oh yes, it's FEMI. They don't say, who are these people? I don't know if I should go or not. No, we already have this reputation, and when we invite people to come to speak to us, they know who we are and they want to participate. And I just want to recognize that so many people have given of their energies and their goodwill to participate with you. In the chat, I'm seeing a lot of thanks to Winnie and Joy and Hortensia, Cecilia. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. The people who have been accompanying you most closely as advisors and as sisters who have some experience and some knowledge, and who will continue following up with you in the next few weeks to help you implement your advocacy plan. I value their work so much. I'm very grateful to it. I know they have put a great deal of affection into their work as well. And we are now in this last phase of the advocacy plans. It's not a lesser or a simple phase at all. It is not less important. This is where you have the opportunity to implement your plans. We connect this experience with our INE fund, and we try to identify resources so that most of you can have access to these funds and can actually implement your plan in your community and in your organizations. This is another opportunity. We've had some good practices. I can tell you that one former participant from the school implemented her plan. She was given a small fund, and it was a first experience that she had and her organization have of administering these kinds of funds. Years later, they have shared with us that they have now had the opportunity to have access to other funds with other donors. And that is the possibility and the opportunity here. So we don't want to just look at what's right in front of us. We want to have a broad view of everything that's possible, access to information, access to knowledge and resources, access to different mechanisms. And that's why I tell you that we should figure out how to be bridges between our organizations and movements. Now, we're not going to say, oh, I know everything and my sisters don't know anything. No, here, everything we learn is for sharing. And what I know, perhaps the other person doesn't know, but that other person knows something that we don't know. And so there's a complementarity of our knowledge and of our knowledge and our experiences there. So I want to invite you to keep working on your plan, to finish it up well. Accountability is something that's very important, something that we can learn from. And if you have any doubts, please talk to your advisors, Ceci, Joy, Winnie, and Orte. And I must say thank you also to the whole FEME team. I want to value Joy's leadership. She really took leadership in this program during Ceci's maternity leave. And she accepted that challenge, and we value it a great deal. Sometimes we feel insecure, can I do it? Can I not? But we are a team here, and I'm so happy that you have accepted this job, Joy, and that you have also found the backing of the rest of the team. And from Ceci, who's now back with us, multiplied now and multitasking. And we're very happy to see her, and we're so glad to know that we have a new baby and a new life here in the heart of the FEME family with Indigenous women. I want to thank the communications team that was helping us constantly with the internet and with the material, sending out materials and Zoom links. Thank you to Javier and your whole team. Thank you to Isabel Flota, Alba Lenis, the administration team, making sure that all the payments were made and that all the procedures were happening. So there have been a lot of us working on this program, and I value all of this, and I thank the whole FEME team, and of course, Tarsila and all of the board of directors of FEME that is with us and always giving us the support. Great embrace to each of you. I celebrate with you for having completed this stage of formation. And we just have the last part, which is the implementation of our plans, but we're getting close to the end of that phase as well. I also want to recognize the interpreters who have been participating in this process. I'm sure that they have learned a whole bunch as well. And so with this, I will end, and I want to send a warm embrace to each of you in your places. Thank you, Maria, Germa, Irene, Joneri, I think that's how you pronounce it, Bridani, Elizabeth, Pema, Anima, Regina. A big embrace to all of you and to all of your energies, and we hope to see you soon.
Ceci, ¿algo más que decir?
Anything more to say, Ceci? Well, I would like to invite you to turn your cameras on, and we can do a screenshot. We can do a group photo here before we say goodbye. Are we ready? Some people are still turning their cameras on. We're almost there. All right, there we are.
Ya está. Gracias.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll send it to you.
Okay. See you. Big hugs. Gracias. Hasta luego.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye,
Bye,
bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you too.
So much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, you
Thank
too.
you all. Bye.
Bye, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, sisters.
Bye.
Gracias. Hasta luego.
Virtual hugs from me.
Oh, thank you, Pema.
Adios.
Hi.